Morning, morning.
Anyone need Mountain Dew here?
Anybody need some caffeine?
Yes. This convention is brought to you by Baja Blast, where you can get blasted in the Silver Sweep. You know.
Wait, you can Mountain Dew and Baja Blast?
Yeah. We can do the dew blasting. You know. But anyways, good morning. I am pretending to be really happy and perky. Thank you. It took years of working of early jobs and stuff where I had to be perky to train it. It's one of my few talents.
There it is.
There we go.
Mr. Troy.
Yeah.
Don't make me wings, little juice.
Maybe it'll be different in the ocean.
Oh, did you pull him down finally?
That's the third time I pulled them down.
Oh, I found
Celebration
you know the
From the little arts display out here. Well, there's one on the
I'll worry about him
later.
yeah no I found
$40,000 art piece is my more concern.
yeah what
Hey Vixie, this is Blitz.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are ready to start the board meeting if you are.
I am.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and call this board meeting to order. We do have quorum. We just need to do a roll call before we do a vote to start the meeting. Brandon Richmond,
Roxanne Martinez.
Christopher Darling,
Alana Rowe.
Daniel Deshawn.
Steven Stoltenberg, and Vixie.
Michelle Urbano.
All right. I would like to make the motion that we start the meeting. Anyone second?
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, meeting is begin. Votes to 7-0. We'll go ahead and start with old business from our last meeting. To do first things first, I do need to certify the minutes from the last meeting. Knight was gracious enough to have them posted for us. If you have a second, you can look, or if you want to look at my screen for a minute, I have them up here on the screen. We did a lot of old business last meeting. Not too much. It seems pretty good, and the new business we'll be going over, or what was new business at the last meeting we'll be going over momentarily to continue from there. But I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded?
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? All right, motion passes. We will go ahead and start with the old business from the last meeting. First thing on the list was the night market code of conduct. We did review other conventions' code of conducts for their night markets, and we tried to adjust ours to follow very similar to theirs, but with a few more specific things in regards to Florida State issues as well. We did vote to approve them, and we confirmed the room that it was in. The night market went really well last night from what I've been seeing. Everybody seemed to have a really good time. All the dealers in there were having a good time. It was very well attended, so it was a good choice on that. We did also go over our 2028 contract with the hotel, including the dates that we had to adjust for. There was also the additional rental agreement we had made with the OCC for that year. So that is all set for right now. There was no other issues with that, but we were looking at trying to get some additional partnering things with local theme parks or whatever we could try to get some kind of additional discounts with working with the OCC that year. But we still have 4 years till that happens, so we're good on that for now. We did go over the 2025 charities that we were wanting to do. We discussed having site visits on some of them, and I still would very much like to do that. I would propose that we have another board meeting probably in the next 2 or 3 months. It may not be in the same quarter that we're currently in, but it will at least be coming up so that we can decide to set some actual site visit dates and go check some of them out to figure out which one we would like to go with for next year. Castor will be helping out with that and giving us more information as we get to it. We also talked about the expansion of the board that we had been discussing for a while. We had voted on to start the process, and I've been working on trying to get some things together to work on an application. We did table it a little bit to talk about certain things with it, and we can continue to work on getting that together so that hopefully maybe by the next meeting we can actually have an application out to start the process on it. And with that, I have no other old business. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to discuss about old business before we move on? All right. I'm going to go ahead and move on to new business. Does anybody have any new business to discuss today?
I have a slight but slightly humorous thing. Additional budget to hospitality for the purposes of Red Bull, because that's what our AV bloodstream consists of.
I don't think it's just AV running on that stuff
Yeah,
right now.
no, well, it's safety. I was just like, I was like, I have never seen that much caffeine consumed in that short amount of time. And those things are expensive.
Yes, they are.
Even when you're buying in bulk, so it's, but you just like for that purpose particularly, because I could easily drop like $700 and we still wouldn't have enough on just that stuff. So
We could seek a partnership with like Coke or something.
I mean, well, let's get some monster partnership here.
I don't know if we want to go down that route yet, but
I mean, hey, it's.
Please.
yeah, the Megaplex sponsored by Monster. No,
I mean, we got a lot of monsters running around, so it's,
I'd rather focus on furry sponsored partnerships first.
Yes,
So,
I agree though.
Now, if a furry takes over Coca-Cola or Red Bull, then I'd be more, or if some furry starts their own energy drink line, then maybe I might be interested in trying that first.
Right, and so it's, want that hot sauce company, that furry hot sauce
gosh.
company here, that'd be great. So it's,
To look at that up again.
I think they're in Canada though, so yeah.
Any other new business? I have nothing specific, so.
One thing I may look at doing due to my schedule and inability to really keep up with my role, I may look at seeing if anyone else would be willing to take over secretary of the board. While I remain as a board member, the office I may give up only because I cannot keep up as well as I'd like to. As we can see with my late getting the board meetings up from, or meeting minutes up, we should get those up at least from what I was advised 2 weeks after the meeting at latest.
Mm-hmm. I do not have any problem seeing if anybody else would like to step into that role. We also still need to fill a treasurer role for the convention, the board as well.
For the organization.
Yeah, for the organization, sorry. We can discuss that if we want to some more at the next meeting, to get that a little bit more worked out and figure out if anybody's actually interested in stepping in there, or if we need to, with the possibility of additional board members having one of them step into that role as well, so.
In my opinion, I think one of us that's been on the board would be a better fit. Only reason behind that is I got blindsided. I was brought onto the board and immediately put on secretary, and I had no idea what I was getting into. Having one of us that's already been on the board that understands how the meeting minutes look, at least that gives us a heads up, and I can show them how to get it in, get them into JIRA and things like that. But for some new, that's a heavy shock.
Is anybody on the current board interested in stepping into the secretary role at this time?
This
Would be
meeting.
interested? Okay. Then, do we want to go ahead and vote on swapping over to that, or we want to discuss it for a little bit more before we make the final decision?
I'm willing
Discuss
to
it?
discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
Then, yeah, we'll go ahead and table the official ruling of it to the next meeting and discuss more of the process to get the next person up in line and ready to go for it.
Alright.
Okay. Any other new business for today?
Brains fried from this week.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I do want to put up, do a consideration for possibility in the future. I know that when we first started these, it was determined that we needed to have a public board meeting once a year as a nonprofit, and that was the decision that was made when we started having it. And over the last few years, it's been looking more and more like that wasn't technically the case, and I would like to look into in the future if that is still needs to be a possibility from now on, or if we need to just have a more generalized public one in the future instead of having to have one at the convention every year. Because I know this is difficult for most of us. You can hear most of us up here with the hoarsest of voices. Y'all are probably just as tired as we are and super early in the morning. Because this seems to be the only time that we can ever get this to work.
Unless we did it Friday right after opening ceremonies, and I think that would be
That would be
scary.
just as bad, so.
Yeah.
I think we might just want to look at doing a generalized one during the year that we can probably do on Zoom so anybody can join because we're
Yeah,
all dead.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
be perfectly fine with that.
Just,
It's a lot easier to have a fresher mind when you've got time to prepare for it, and with the convention, it's a lot more difficult to do that because you're busy trying to get everything else going.
To my knowledge, unless it is a government entity, there is absolutely no requirement for a public board meeting.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Then I would like to put the fourth to consideration about that. We can discuss it more at the next meeting and make a vote then. But I would like to at least put that in the notes that we are interested in discussing this option, and we will further discuss on it as we have our next meeting. Okay.
that sounds good, so.
All right.
To add to that, I was like, this time should become, we should just get some sleeping bags in here, little cots, and board,
And sleep on
sleep
things
catch up.
to do.
You know, yeah, I was like, yeah, there we go.
Just turn the
I mean,
fourth
I
floor
think
into
that
the
I
staff
have space
dormitories.
So I can say it's all little futons now.
That'd be amazing, you know. That's make some EV futons, you know.
Aww.
And we'll go ahead and, any more new business for today? All right, do we need to do anything else, or, are we good?
Are you gonna open the floor?
Yeah, I will open the floor for questions, if anybody has any
We're
questions for the
tired.
board.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're a little brain fried, so.
Real.
But the floor is open if anybody has any questions. Yes.
So Saturday morning around 3 a.m. there was a Starlink rocket launch. A group of about 40 to 50 of us watched it from the fourth floor terrace. If any rocket launches fall during future editions of Megaplex, would y'all consider having like official launch viewing parties as part of the con programming?
How quick, or how long ago do they normally have them announced for? Like, do
Well,
we know?
this one was announced for for a couple weeks ago, then it was
Okay.
delayed to last week. It got delayed again to this evening, so.
When was the first public notice on it, though? That was the question.
Point of information, this was a Starlink launch.
Oh, I'm
not
sorry,
Polaris.
Starlink, not
But
Polaris.
when was the first time that was brought forth to the public so they can know the
Unfortunately,
date?
that's not information that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, Starlink
this-
launches are pretty well scheduled in
Okay.
advance.
Yeah.
It's the manned missions that
Yeah.
are sketchier.
Yeah, I know that
Usually,
if things are scheduled like many months in advance, there's possibility for us to be able to put them on the schedule if we need to, but if things are planned within a month, it's very difficult for
Yeah.
us to get them on there. Like, we have to get those pocket schedules printed.
Right.
And there's times by once we print it immediately, it's already out of date because something had to change
Yeah.
or cancel.
What about a social media post?
We could do that in the
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
too.
Because that fourth floor terrace is like the perfect place for watching night launches.
Nice.
Yeah.
My only concern with that is depending on the time of it, because usually we consider con operations to end at about 2:30, 3 a.m. If it launches beyond that, it might be a little hard to really officially schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else though, we could just do a social media,
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
hey, there's a rocket launch going
Yeah.
on, if you wanna see it.
So
Go
people
ahead
are
outside
grouping
your
up at
lunch,
the
yeah.
fourth
Yeah.
terrace.
Official, unofficial.
50 of us out there
Look
with-
at the stars, are you? You know?
Yeah, uh-huh.
50 of us out there with a Bluetooth speaker.
It could be something we could look at in the future then, so.
Nice.
If actually one falls on the same weekend,
Yeah.
it takes us next time.
Very cool. I think a lot of people would be interested.
Any other questions? All right, then, I'm gonna go ahead and put a forth motion to call this meeting to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. We will discuss future times and discussion after the convention.
Want a Mountain Dew?
Thank you, Vixie. You have a good rest of the
Someone
morning.
needs to go need a gavel.
No rush.
Thank you, Casey.